What do you think the word home means to you?
Well, home was mean to me is a place where you can come away from everything, collect your thoughts, and just be away from everybody.
This place has actually been like a real, stepping stone for me right now.
I was on the street, I was homeless.
When you're retired, it can be difficult to live in and around Boston.
I couldn't find a place to live, so I rented a room down the street. The guy wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, he's gonna beat me with my own cane. So I left. They hooked me up with Quincy housing. I can afford the rent. It's unbelievable. Like, the place is immaculate.
I have a distinct memory of a conversation I had with my father after he had visited Paul Sullivan, who was then the director of Pine Street Inn, a well-known shelter in Boston. And they were having a conversation about the membership, the people who live there. And my father came away stunned that about 25% of them had full-time jobs. He felt, because what he did for a living, which was real estate development, that he could help that population.
From the time I first met Leo, he was very committed to trying to create housing for people who fell between the cracks.
It was important for people to have a good home and a safe home, a clean home, and a place that they weren't afraid to live.
1985, the first year that this started, I remember going to the first gala. Leo Corcoran filled the room at Lombardo's. The thing that was most surprising was, as much as people talked about wanting to do affordable housing, how complicated it was to do it.
We're providing housing for people who get up every day and go to work, and we're going to provide housing for people who can't afford the housing that we build.
I remember Joe telling me how my father got him involved in Caritas, and he said he called him one day, and he said, "Joe, I have a question for you." He said, "Do you want to go to heaven?" And Joe said, "Well, yeah." He said, "Well, I can help." And then he put the Caritas pitch on him,
Leo actually used his own money to get this organization off the ground. He bought the first few buildings himself.
Leo had a better grasp on it than people did at that time. So it was very forward-thinking. The first building, there was no staff. So really everybody rolled up their sleeves, and you would make calls, and people would do whatever they needed to do to get the building.
Looking back now at Leo, I think he knew he had a calling. He's helped hundreds of people.
And it was never about him. It's the funniest thing. And the people he enlisted to help with Caritas, that was sort of the unifying quality. It wasn't about them either. And that made the work great.
I don't remember any challenges because everything that came up, we were able to handle it. We had Leo with us.
I call this my home, although it's a rooming place, but it's my home for right now. This is my home, and I treat it like a home.
But this has definitely helped me out. Like, on my last leg, this was something for me to stand on. This was a branch on a tree or a handle that I could just grab and steady myself. So I would suggest it to other people.
Leo recognized it wasn't just creating a house with 4 walls and a roof and decent, safe, and sanitary. He really committed to making it an environment, a home. So from the moment you walk up the walkway, it feels like you're coming home.
I use this analogy. Woman that moved out, she was a young kid at the time, actually. She moved in, and she was going to school to be a teacher. She moved in with the Glad trash bags. When she left with American Tourister. I get upset when I say that,
Like, this place has actually been like a real, stepping stone for me right now. Like, it definitely helped out, like, a lot.
So far, I've been doing good, it's been a year and a half, so. And my dog helps me out a lot, too. I got permission for the dog, thank God. Without her, I'll be lost, and everybody loves her in the building here.
One of our tenants was able, through help, to get the financing he needed to buy a home. That was huge.
As successful as Caritas has been, it's kind of a small part of the solution, right? So I would like to see and hope to see Caritas grow in the years ahead and do more but it's certainly not, they can't alone overcome the problem, right?
4 families and 6 families to now. I think there's 40 properties and
See, they're housing 1,000 people now. That's a lot of people off the street.
Caritas has a reputation for being a strong supporter of families.
everyone deserves a roof over their head.
Home is wherever we gather and come together.
Everybody should have a home.
I think it means a place where you can be yourself.
Home is someplace where you can, at the end of the day, feel comfortable laying down and, forgetting all the stresses of the day.
When you open the door to Mechanic Street, you know you're home. I live there. It's home.